Well, hello. I'm standing outside on this beautiful, sunny Saturday. Got cardinals out in the trees, people walking over here on the walking trail behind the garages, and just a glorious day today. I just got done down at the garden center where a man had trouble breathing because he had a face mask on, and his wife kept telling him to not remove it, and it caused a bunch of breathing issues with him, caused him to get real hot, start sweating profusely, and then he kind of went into a low sugar condition, being a diabetic, and he just ate. She said an hour before that, so this was like some kind of breathing heat induced thing. I came home and I started thinking about whether or not I wanted to put out this video because it's probably going to end up getting removed anyway. Bobby Rush is a Democrat here in Illinois, a state representative. He's decided to put into plan and submitted it for approval. It's a $100 billion contract basically to start a mobile COVID-19 testing facility. And remember earlier, a couple weeks ago, where I shared with you guys the director from the CDC, that was saying he wants to be able to go into families' homes and remove people accordingly that are affected and basically make them comfortable quarantined somewhere else. Who in their right mind is going to allow somebody to come into their home and remove people? They first told us if we were sick to go home and stay home and go through the 14-day incubation period instead of flooding the hospitals, because you can actually work through this if you're healthy enough. If your symptoms are bad enough and you need to get tested, you can go to a hospital. But most of the people can get through it at home. Well, now they're saying they want to be able to come into your home and remove you. Well, some time passes or whatever, and May 1st comes around. Look it up. It's a government documented, going through the chains of approval right now, HR6666, or the Trace Act. They want to create mobile testing facilities that will go door to door and test you. What does that mean? What if you test positive and you don't want to leave your home? They're going to remove you. They're going to take you to a medical facility or quarantine somewhere, and they're going to move you somewhere else when they clearly told you that you can stay home. Mobile testing facilities that test for COVID-19, going door to door, home to home, apartment to apartment. Doesn't that sound a lot like what Boris was saying? I call him Boris from the CDC. Go into people's homes and remove them. They want to be able to do this, and who better to do it than a Democrat from the state of Illinois, Bobby Rush, to start this whole paperwork trail and get it approved and send it through the chains, and then start making it to where the government can come into your home and remove you and take you to quarantine. First, they tell us that if we get it from the street and we take it into our home, then we should stay home and go through the incubation period and get through it. Now they're saying they want to be able to go to people's homes and test them and remove them. That's what it sounds like to me. Some of you better be ready to stand up and fight through this, because there's nobody going to come to my home and take anybody out of my home. There's nobody going to come here and test anybody. We're fine. We're not coughing and spitting and projecting fluid all over the place where people can get this. This is not a breathing type virus. You have to project fluid in order to pass it on. None of us here are doing any of that. We're not exhibiting any signs. And I do not authorize them to come to my home in any form or fashion. If they come to my home and they try to force their way in my home, they will be hurt coming into my home. They are not allowed here. There's no testing facility allowed here, no government official, no company, no agency allowed here. You come to my home and you try to come in my home and you try to test somebody or take somebody out of my home, you are going to get hurt. That is a promise. I protect my home. It's my right to do that. But outside of here, I adhere to what happens in public. Sometimes I put a mask on if I feel like it, even though I think it's ridiculous. I adhere to the standards. I wash my hands. I stay clean. I keep my distance because I want other people to feel comfortable. But there's also a limit to that type of stuff. I'm only going to do so much and adhere to so many standards because I know I don't have control outside of my home. It's not up to me. But I still have my rights, and I'm going to protect them. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff going on right now with a lot of money being shuffled around government-wise, where they want the ability to control more than what they should be able to control. Let me put it this way. We need to let these government officials know the only power that they have is based on the power that we give them. The only right that they have to that seat, that office, that paycheck that they have every year is because they were voted there. It's based on the power of the people, and it's for the people. We give them power. If you don't give them power and you don't like them, or they don't represent you, and you get enough people to come forward and say, I don't like what you're doing right now, and I'm not okay with it, and you need to step down, you don't have that power anymore, it can be done. But if people don't step forward and start saying and speaking up about things, especially when you have corrupt governors like we have, it's ridiculous. They are empowered by the people, and we're letting them take too much power and do whatever they want without the concern or the word of the people. Quit disrespecting my people. Quit disrespecting the people that give you the power, and start standing up for yourself. They are not testing here. This HR666 Act, the Trace Act, will not be going on with me or my family. If I can control it, it'll be over my dead body. I want to make that clear. Guys, look it up. I'm going to leave a link in the comment section below to the act so you can actually track it to see how it makes it through the political chain, whether or not it gets approved. I don't ever say his name right. The one that they keep silencing and deleting his videos, Dr. Boutier or something. He covered it early this morning as well. It was put into effect, or it was submitted May 1st, and it's trying to go through the chains of approval now. Do not let this thing go through approval. If you need to be tested, you need to go through a drive-in facility, or you need to go to a medical provider. Do not go to people's homes to do this. This is not right. And some of these states that they say are, if it's actually going on, are letting law enforcement officials know who has COVID and who doesn't. And people saying that there are police officers parked on their blocks watching things that are going on. Regardless if this is true or not, none of this stuff is okay. But this Trace Act needs to not be approved. If this Trace Act gets approved, be ready to fight. That's all I can say. This video is probably going to get taken down because it's enticing some kind of aggravation or violence, even though I'm not enticing anybody to do that, and I'm not saying that that's okay. But what I am saying is, if you want to protect yourself and your family, nobody comes in your home without your approval. Nobody. Take care, guys.